Hello, hi guys. This is CA Balakrishna from Lecturepedia.in. How are you? Hope you people are doing well. Even I am fantastic. Now, in the today's class, we'll be discussing the RTP that has been issued for May 2024 examinations of CA final audit. Okay. Now, starting with the integrated case scenario. First of all, let me read the integrated case scenario. WYZ Limited, incorporated during the year 2000 to 2003, is a leading unicorn startup and top manufacturer of silicon wafers with two advanced plants and over 6,000 employees. Okay, as a pioneer in its industry to be listed on stock exchange. So this is a listed entity. Okay. WYZ Limited underscores its long-standing and influential presence in financial market. The company consistently complies with SEBI LODR regulations, ensuring regulatory adherence and maintaining credibility among investors and stakeholders. Okay, first of all, from the first paragraph, you came to know that this company is a listed company. Now, considering the nature, size, and extent, the company has appointed Mr. KAP and Mrs. BMS and Co. as their joint auditors. Okay, both the firms divided the work in accordance with SA 299, shared the allocation of tasks to those charged with governance, and started conducting the audit procedures. Okay, they have divided the work. Now, during the audit engagement, Mrs. KAP and Co. was assigned to verify property, plant, and equipment register. Okay, Mr. K, the engagement partner of Mrs. KAP and Co., carried out the verification process. However, he did not maintain any documentation of the same. See, one of the joint auditor did not maintain documentation with respect to the work that is allotted to him. Additionally, he did not perform impairment testing on PPE at the end of financial year. Okay, this is with respect to one of the joint auditor, that is Mrs. KAP and Co. Next, Mr. B, the engagement partner of Mrs. BMS and Co., was responsible for verification procedure verification of procure to pay process. That means from the time purchase to payment, the entire process has to be audited by Mrs. BMS and Co. Now, however, he was informed by management that Mr. E, their internal auditor, has already verified P2P process and carried out relevant audit procedures, and thereby he relied on the work of Mr. E. Okay, you can rely on the work of internal auditor, but before relying, you have to once verify the competence of internal auditor. You have to once verify the sufficiency of the work performed by internal auditor. If you see here, he neither conducted any independent audit procedure to evaluate the work of internal auditor nor documented his conclusion regarding the evaluation of adequacy of work of internal auditor. This should not be done. You have to evaluate the sufficiency of the work done. Now, moreover, looking at increase in scale of business, management of WZ Limited took the decision to implement ERP in its business during the year and gave contract to Info Limited to develop an ERP suitable for its business. Okay. The development of ERP was completed on August 12th, 2023. The management started adoption of ERP and replacing its old practices. The adoption took a span of 4 months and was successfully completed on December 3rd, 2023. Okay, ERP implementation completed successfully on December 3rd, 2023. The previous software did not have audit trial feature, and audit trial was operational from December 3rd, 2023. See, if you see here, during the entire year, audit trial was not present. Only from 3rd December 2023, audit trial is there. Now, however, the auditors of company have not reported anything on the above matter relating to audit trial in their main audit report. See, if the company is not having audit trial even for one day, you need to report. Auditor need to report in the audit report. So this is also wrong. You have to report. Now, in addition to the above, WYZ Limited has one Indian wholly owned subsidiary, ABC Private Limited, who is in the business of acquisition of shares and securities. Messrs. PQR and Co. are the auditors of ABC Private Limited. Now, if you see, ABC Private Limited is wholly owned subsidiary of WZ Limited. Since WYZ Limited is a listed entity, and for this entity, CARO is applicable. For the subsidiary of this listed entity also, Caro will be applicable, right, irrespective of their turnover. Hope this is clear. Now we'll see the first MCQ based on above case study. Mr. K, engagement partner of Mrs. KAP and Co, failed to maintain any documentation of whole verification process and did not perform impairment testing on PPE. We have seen this in case study. Now, at the end of financial year, select appropriate option as per SA 299. Let us read. Mr. K is severally responsible for his own actions. Yes, since that work is allotted to Mr. K only, he is severally responsible for that work. Option A is correct option. Next, second MCQ. The management of company has adopted a new ERP system and accordingly audit trial was maintained from December 3rd, 2023 only in the new ERP system. Whether action of auditor with respect to reporting requirements of audit trial was justified, it is not justified, because even if the audit trial is not present, even if for a single day, you need to report it in audit report, but auditor has not reported. So option C, no, the action of auditors was not justified as the audit trial was not operational throughout the year and hence it is the duty of auditor to report the same in the main audit report. Yes. Next, third MCQ. Mr. B, engagement partner of Mrs. BMS and Co, was responsible for verifying procure-to-pay processes. He did not perform any procedure and relied upon the work of internal auditor without keeping any documentation. Which of the following is correct? Let us see. Here, option A says Mr. B can rely on work of internal auditor. Okay. However, he must first discuss with internal audit function and also evaluate the adequacy of work of internal auditor and must document the same regarding the evaluation of work of internal auditor. Yes. Option A is correct. Remaining options are wrong. Next, fourth MCQ. Considering the above case, whether reporting under CARO 2020 will be applicable to ABC Private Limited? Yes, since ABC Private Limited is a wholly owned subsidiary of a listed entity, CARO is applicable to ABC Private Limited. If you see option C, yes, since company is wholly owned subsidiary of listed company WYZ Limited. Next, fifth MCQ. While preparing a consolidated financial statements of a WZ Limited, division of responsibility between auditors of WZ Limited, YZ Limited, and auditor of ABC Private Limited should be reported in. Now, while auditing consolidated financial statements, the fact that there has been a division of responsibility with respect to audit of areas can be reported in which paragraph? You can report it in other matter paragraph, because this is communication with respect to the audit. Anything that is with respect to the audit, you will communicate in other matter paragraph, right? So fifth MCQ, option D is correct. Now moving to independent MCQs. MCQ number 6. Subhan Engineering, a borrower of the branch, had fully utilized its sanctioned cash credit of 400 lakhs with an outstanding balance of 413 lakhs as of March 31, 2024. The bank classified the account as substandard asset. Okay, outstanding amount is more than the sanctioned credit, and that account is classified as substandard asset. Now, during inspection, DGM observed that the borrower's premises were damaged with no machinery, stock, or other asset present. When DGM has inspected, he found that no assets were present at the premises. The borrower was unreachable, and an independent verification of assets confirmed that no mortgage security was available. Even the mortgage security is also not available, except for a piece of land with a realizable value of 33 lakhs. Now, the bank accepted this report and made a provision considering the account as a substandard asset. Now, if you see here, DGM in his inspection, he found out that only the value of assets available is 33 lakhs and the owner is also untraceable, and amount in the loan is outstanding more than the sanction limit. It should be classified as loss asset because there is no security to repay this loan, right? But they have classified it as substandard asset. Whether correct classification and provision norms have been applied, the answer is no. Correct classification has not been done. So the correct answer would be the account should have been classified as doubtful asset. Yeah. Option C, the account should have been classified as loss asset and full provision should have been made in the books of accounts. Option C is correct. Just a second. Yes. Next, seventh MCQ. CA Praveen is appointed by KSN Limited for the year 23-24. While verifying payroll data of the company, it has come to his notice that provisions of law preventing employment of child labor are not being adhered to and company is employing child labor. Okay. Now, this is other law because this will not have any effect on the financial statements. The company also exports part of its turnover and matter has gone unnoticed in complaints audits carried out by agencies of overseas buyers. With respect to auditor's observation relating to the matter of child labor, which is the most appropriate course of action for him to proceed in this matter? Option A says CA Praveen should ignore. No, he should not completely ignore it. CA Praveen must report matter to concerned government. No, there is no such reporting requirement to the government. CA Praveen should obtain further information to evaluate the possible effect on financial statements. Besides, he should evaluate implications of non-compliance for risk audit risk assessment. Yes, option C is correct. He should evaluate to identify the possible effect on the financial statements, and if at all any penalties will be charged, the provision should be made in the financial statements. Okay. Next, Mohini Limited paid their arrears of undisputed statutory dues just a day before the date of audit report. Now, these statutory dues are due as on the date of financial statements. They have been paid just before the date of audit report. After this, now the auditor believes that only disputed dues need to be reported under CARO 2020 as undisputed dues are paid before the date of audit report. Which of the following is most appropriate course of action? Here, those dues are outstanding as on balance sheet date. Okay, they have not yet been paid as on balance sheet date. So both disputed as well as undisputed dues has to be reported in clause 7 of CARO. So if you see option B, the auditor is required to report both disputed and undisputed statutories in accordance with clause 7A and B of CARO. Option B. Next, MCQ number, yeah, we have completed all the MCQs, right? Now moving to the question and answers. So ninth question, theory questions. Mrs. Jin Kushal and Co has been appointed as auditor of SC Limited for the financial year 23-24. CA Jin, one of the partners of Mrs. Jin Kushal and Co, completed entire routine audit work by 19th June 2024. Unfortunately, on very next morning, while roving towards office of SC Limited to sign final audit report, he met with road accident and died. Okay, CA Jin, who is a partner of Jin Kushal, has conducted all the audit work of SC Limited and before signing he died. Now CA Kushal, another partner of Mrs. Jin Kushal and Co, therefore signed the accounts of SC Limited without reviewing the work performed by CA Jin. State the reasons whether CA Kushal is right in expressing an opinion on financial statements, the audit of which is performed by another auditor. See, if the audit is done by another auditor, it can be signed by the partner, provided partner before signing the audit report, he should review the work that is done by that another auditor. Okay, he should see whether compliance with professional, legal and regulatory requirements has been done or not, and whether all the significant matters have been brought for consultation or not, and whether proper documentation is maintained or not. All these aspects has to be reviewed. Only after reviewing the audit that has been done by other partner you can sign, because once you sign the audit report, the responsibility for such opinion will lie on you. Okay, so here in this situation, CA Kushal, he can sign audit report, but after reviewing the work that has been done, even as per professional ethics also, if the work has been delegated to the subordinates, the auditor who is signing the audit report, he will review and he will also supervise the work that has been assigned to the subordinates, right? So in this situation he can sign provided he reviews the work that has been done. Next, 10th question. During audit of financial statements of Lux Limited for the year ended 31st March 2024, CA Suyash, the statutory auditor, requested external confirmation for certain trade receivables and trade payables as part of audit procedures in accordance with SA 505. Okay. CA Yush CA Suyash sent a confirmation request to a debtor for balance of rupees 15,50,000, which was outstanding for more than 6 months, insisting him to respond directly to the auditor, confirming whether they agree or disagree with the balance stated. So, in both the situation, the response has to be sent. So, it becomes positive confirmation request. Next, he also sent a confirmation request to a creditor with an outstanding balance of 13,25,000, requesting to respond only if there was disagreement with the amount stated. So here this becomes negative confirmation request, right? Now, CA Suyash received responses from aforementioned debtor and creditor in the following manner. The debtor confirmed that as per their records, they owned only 14,19,000 to Lux Limited instead of 15,50,000 as per the company's books. Okay, in the company's books, it is showing as 15,50,000, but in the confirmation, debtor is saying it is only 14,90,000. Now, in this situation, the auditor, he should first of all discuss with the management why there is a difference, and he should identify whether external confirmation sent by the debtor is wrong or the amount that is being shown in the financial statements is wrong. He needs to evaluate further. After that, he should ask the management to make the corrections if he finds that the amount that is disclosed in the financial statements is wrong. That is the course of action that the auditor has to take. And the creditor did not respond to the confirmation request. Now, identify and explain type of confirmation request. I have already told you, positive and negative confirmation request sent by auditor to the debtor and creditor. Okay, first question answered. Also discuss the course of action of the auditor should be taken for discrepancy in the confirmation received from the debtor on non-receipt of confirmation from the creditor. Course of action also I have told you, right, what the auditor should do. Now, next question. Audit and Company is a statutory auditor of Fund Journey Limited, a company engaged in tours and travels business. So the company has an annual turnover of 1,200 crores and profit of 150 crores. While planning, the auditors discuss the requirement for a written representation letter from the management for confirming that auditor is provided with all relevant information and access as agreed in terms of audit engagement, and all transactions have been recorded and are reflected in the financial statements. Okay, with respect to these two, the auditor has asked for written confirmation or written representation from the management. Now, as the audit was near to completion, auditor disagreed with the management on one of the matters, including need of written representation, contending that verbal confirmations given during the audit should be sufficient. Management is saying that we will not give written representation. The verbal representations that we have given during the audit are sufficient, but auditor is not agreeing with this, because as per SF580 written representation, auditor should obtain the written representation from the management. Thus, separate written representation is not required. Udit and Co, however, explained that under SF580, obtaining a formal written statement from management is mandatory. Fund Journey Limited refused to provide a written representation letter despite the auditor's several requests. Now, whether contention of auditor for seeking written representation letter is justified? Yes, it is justified, because as per SF580, written representation is mandatory. Next, what should be the form of such a written representation? This written representation should be given as a letter addressed to the auditor. Okay, written letter addressed to the auditor. And how should the auditor proceed if management refuses to provide the written representation? See, if management refuses to provide the written representation, you should first of all ask the management why they are refusing to provide the written representation. Auditor should also consider integrity of management, because here management is not agreeing to give the written representation. So he will get a doubt about the integrity of the management, whether management has committed any frauds, whether management is honest or not, he will get the doubts. And finally, he should consider impact of this on the opinion. Okay, if he is not able to obtain audit evidence properly, then there is also a possibility that he can give a disclaimer of opinion. Okay, this is question number 11. Next, question number 12. Comment with reference to provisions of CORO 2020. Relon Limited has a turnover of 650 crores during the financial year 23-24. It has outstanding dues towards income tax of 15 lakh since July 2023. Okay. When inquired by auditor, company's management informed him that they have filed a objection letter. See, this is just a objection letter, not a formal appeal. Okay, until and unless a formal appeal is filed, you cannot say there is a dispute. This is just a formal objection. Okay, normal objection. It will not be treated as a dispute letter for the said demand with the income tax authorities. However, no response is received from the department. Is there any reporting responsibility of auditor under CORO 2020? Yes. Under clause 7, subclause A, you need to report, which is undisputed statutory dues. Okay, if there is any outstanding amount of undisputed statutory dues for a period exceeding more than 6 months from the date they have become due as on the balance sheet date, you need to report them in CORO clause A, and disputed statutory dues you will report in clause B of clause subclause B of clause 7. Here this will be a undisputed statutory due because just a objection letter is filed. It is not it should not be treated as a dispute. If a formal appeal is filed, then it can be treated as a dispute. Hope that is clear. Next, so the first point, reporting under clause 7 subclause A. Next, during the audit, CA Kunal found that physical verification of inventory of company has been conducted by management on a regular interval. The following is a summary of inventory as per physical verification conducted by management vis-a-vis its books of accounts. So there is a discrepancy between physical verification and as per books of accounts inventory. Now, as per clause 3 of CORO, auditor needs to report if the discrepancy is 10% or more. Now, on which you need to calculate discrepancy. First of all, if you see, another important point that you need to remember here is that discrepancy should be calculated uh, inventory class wise, but not on total inventory. Okay, see, for raw material, on physical verification there is 1160 crores, but in books it is 1180 crores. Difference is 20 crores. So how much is the percentage of difference? 20 divided by 1160 into 100. How much it will be? It is 1.72%. Since the percentage of difference is less than 10%, the difference or the discrepancy in raw material need not be disclosed or reported. Next, work in progress. In work in progress, the difference amount is again 20 rupees. If you calculate 20 by 410 into 100, it will be 4.87. Again, this is also less than 10%, so you need not report. Next, finished goods. If you see, the discrepancy amount is 290. 290 divided by 2500. You should remember that the percentage should be calculated on this figure into 100. So 290 divided by 2500 into 100, it would be 11.6%, which is exceeding 10%. So you should report the discrepancy in finished goods under CARO. Next, stores and spares. The discrepancy amount is 40 rupees. Percentage is 40 by 220 into 100. it would be 18.18%. This is also more than 10%. So you need to report the discrepancy of finished goods and stores and spares in your caro report. Okay, next question. Question number 13. Compilation engagement is an engagement in which practitioner applies accounting and financial reporting expertise to assist the management in the preparation and presentation of financial information. Yes, this is SRS, Standard Related Services, information of an entity in accordance with applicable financial reporting framework and issues a report. Now, for what purposes financial information prepared under such an engagement may be required? See, financial statements you will prepare them for various purposes. First one is for the purpose of yearly compliances. You have to file the financial statements with MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. For that purpose, you will prepare, right? Second is for internal purposes. Sometimes management they wanted to know the financial status of the company, the financial position of the company, so they can prepare financial statements. Sometimes as per a contract you might have to prepare financial statements and submit to the party on a regular intervals. So for that purpose also you can prepare financial statements. So there are various requirements for which you will prepare financial statements, and they're asking briefly discuss the elements of practitioner's report for such engagement report. Format of report on compilation engagement. Okay, this is the basic format that you can find in a study material. You can just go through it. Next, UV, a finance manager at DCP Limited, received a text message on his mobile phone claiming to be from his bank. The message states that, "Dear customer, your account has been temporarily suspended due to suspicious activity. To reactivate, please re-verify your details by clicking on the following link. Send your info link.com. Failure to do so within 24 hours will result in account deactivation. Thank you for banking with us." Now if you see, they're asking what type of attack it is. This is a smishing attack. Here the attacker is purporting to represent as a genuine source, that is the bank. So and this attack is done through SMS, so it will be known as smishing. Other types of phishing attacks include spear phishing, whaling, and wishing. Okay, these are the types of phishing attacks. Next, group audits. 15th question. Advic Investments Limited is a company having paid up share capital of 1 crore. It has subsidiary Investors Fund Management Limited. Major business of Advic Limited is to pool money from investors on a collective basis and invest this money in various funds. So, first condition, pooling money from the investors, collecting money from the investors. This company pooled 10 crore from number of clients, which represents the company shareholders. While auditing books of accounts, Advic Investments CA Chirag observed that whole amount 12 crore pool has been invested in shares and debentures of various companies, and profit earned on appreciation of prices of these shares has been distributed. Second condition, okay, the goal is to earn money through investment income and appreciation of the investment. See, these are the conditions for a company to be called as investment company. And the third condition, the performance of all of its investment is measured on fair value basis. Since all the three conditions are satisfied, this company will be called as a investment company. Now, CA Chirag raised a issue while auditing financial statements of Advic Investments Limited, whether consolidated financial statements are required as per section 129 subsection 3 of the Companies Act 2013. Analyze the above issue and give your opinion. See, if this company is following IND-AS, Indian Accounting Standards, then consolidation is not required. Okay, as per IND-AS, if the company is a investment company, then it need not prepare consolidated financial statements. However, if it is following accounting standards, then under accounting standards there is no exemption for an investment company, but there is a exclusion. Okay, there is a difference between exemption and exclusion. Okay, so under, if the accounting standards are applicable to the company, it has to prepare consolidated financial statements. If IND-AS is applicable to the company, it need not prepare consolidated financial statements. Hope that is clear. Next, Nutan and Co. has been appointed as a statutory auditor of Joe Bank Limited, a private sector bank registered with RBI. Mr. Chahal, the engagement partner, while performing the audit as per checklist, noted down the following points which would be part of the audit queries as tabulated below. Let us see his queries. See, after reading the queries, what they are asking is, please provide the reasons due to which such query would have been raised by Mr. Chahal and describe the action that may be taken. Okay, after reading this query, query wise, you have to tell why this query might have been raised and what would be the appropriate solution to resolve this query. Let us see first query. One of the NPS was sold for value higher than net book value. Okay. Now the profit was not recognized, but excess provision in respect of same has been reversed. Now why this query has been raised, you need to answer. See, in case of sale of NPS, if you receive any profit, that profit should not be recognized in profit and loss account, and that profit should not be used for reversal of provision. Instead, such profit should be used to cover up the loss that you might incur on sale of other NPS. So this is the provision because of which this query is raised, and the appropriate resolution for this query is to reverse the entry that has been passed adjusting the provision, right? Next, interest in a state government guaranteed advance has been taken to income even though such advance has remained overdue for more than 90 days. See, if in case of NPA, interest should be recognized only if it has actually been received. Because of this provision, this query is raised. Now, here the appropriate resolution would be to reverse the interest income that has been recognized. Next, there is an account for which the ad hoc limit has not been reviewed for 180 days from the date of such ad hoc sanction, and such account has been treated as performing asset in the books. Here, this type of account, if it is not reviewed, okay, ad hoc limit, if it is not reviewed within 180 days from the date of sanction of the limit, it should be treated as NPA, but it has been treated as performing asset here. So the proper resolution is to change the classification. Okay, next, on verification of outstanding foreign exchange contracts, the net position in respect of one of the foreign exchange currencies was not squared up. You need to square up as per the provision. You need to square up the difference in the forward exchange contracts and was uncovered by substantial amount. It should be covered by the substantial amount. Okay, the forward exchange contract, the difference in the forward exchange contract, it should be covered by the substantial amount, but here it is not covered by the substantial amount. So the resolution is to cover the amount by substantial amount, and you should also square up the contract. Next, square up means settling the contract. Next, in case of one of the accounts, an additional temporary limit has been sanctioned for 25% of the existing limit. No, you can sanction only maximum up to 20% of the existing limit. Okay, additional temporary limits can be sanctioned only up to 20% of the existing limit, that too for a period of 90 days only. Here it has been sanctioned for a period of 120 days. So for a period of 90 days only, appropriate resolution would be to change the terms to 20% and 90 days. Okay, these are the appropriate resolutions for the queries raised. Next, 17th question. A state government owned PSU was involved in setting up of thermal power plant in the state. The C&AG in its audit report pointed out delay in completion of work due to failure to decide on type of water treatment in the cooling plant on a timely basis. Besides, other reasons leading to delay like frequent changes in layouts and retesting of soil by the company were pointed out. What kind of audit is referred in the above case? Now, if you see in the above case, they are stating that the objective, the goal has not achieved in a timely manner. That is, they are speaking about effectiveness of the audit. So, effectiveness of the audit, it will be dealt in performance audit. So they are speaking about performance audit. Describe the methods which could be used in conducting such audit. See, for conducting performance audit, you can use methods like analysis of the procedures, analysis of the results, quantitative analysis, or through case study basis, or also you can conduct performance audit, and through surveys you can conduct the performance audit, or by studying the existing information you can conduct the performance audit. So all these are the methods that are available for conducting the performance audit. Next, EMF Limited, a manufacturing company specializing in industrial and consumer products, has been experiencing significant inventory shortages despite maintaining detailed procurement and production records. The management suspects fraudulent activity as discrepancies have been noticed in the stock reconciliation, production wastage reports, and inventory adjustment. Okay, management is predicting that there is a certain frauds taking place in the area of inventory. So some of the reasons for the suspicion include manual adjustment in stock records on frequent basis. Okay, these points are causing suspicion in management that there is a fraud in the inventory. Higher than usual production wastage, raw material recorded as issued for production but missing from the factory floors. Okay, in the book it is written that the raw material has been issued for production, but when if you go and see in the factory, you are not finding the raw material. Next, finished goods dispatched but not recorded in the sales account. Unexplained inventory shrinkage over consecutive months. All these issues are causing the management to doubt that there is a inventory fraud. Now, considering the above, you are appointed by MF Limited to evaluate the options for verifying the process to reveal fraud and the corrective action to be taken. As an investigative accountant, what will be your areas of verification and procedures to be followed for verification of defalcation of inventories? First of all, various ways in which this inventory fraud can be committed is, first of all, the employees, they can simply take away the inventory, right? They can simply remove the inventory from the premises, or theft of goods may be concealed by writing them off in the books of account. You will write off the inventory, or inventory records may be manipulated by the employees, or inflating the quantities issued for production, stocks actually dispatched but not entered in sales or debtors account. So these are the ways in which the inventory fraud can take place. Now, to identify the inventory fraud, what procedure the investigating accountant will follow? Now, first of all, here the entire system of receipts, storage, and dispatch of goods, etc., should be reviewed to localize the weakness in the system. Okay, first thing the accountant, the investigating accountant will do is, he will first of all understand how the inventory is being procured and how it is stored and how it is dispatched. He will study this entire process and he will understand the weaknesses in this process. Next, determination of factors which have been responsible for theft and establishment of guilt would be difficult in absence of system of inventory control or availability of sufficient data from which such record can be constructed. The first step in such an investigation is to establish different items on of inventory defalcated and quantities by checking physically the quantities in inventory held and those shown by the inventory book. Okay, the next step that the auditor will do is, he will verify the quantities of inventories being shown in books of accounts and the physical inventory. Okay, the inventory class of inventory wise he will do, so that to identify which inventory, in which inventory there is a discrepancy. Okay, so first of all, he has understood the process of procurement, storage, and issual, that is issue of inventory. Next, he will see in which area or which in which inventory there is a shortage. He will identify inventory. Okay, whether in raw material, in raw material also there might be various raw materials. So in which raw material there is shortage, that he will identify. How will identify? By verifying or by comparing with physical verification and books of accounts. Afterwards, all receipts and issues of inventory recorded in the inventory book should be verified. Now he has identified in which category of inventory there is a shortage. Now for that category he will go in depth. That means he will take the inwards register and he will verify whether the stock that is shown in the inward registered has been shown even in the books of accounts also as purchases or not. He will also verify the outward register and he will see whether inventory shown in the outward register has also been entered into sales or not. So this way in detail he will verify. Next, defalcation of inventory sometimes also are committed by management. Sometimes management can also commit defalcation of inventory by diverting part of production and consequent shortages in production being adjusted by inflating the wastage in production. Okay, sometimes what management will do is they will say that this much amount of inventory has been issued for production and in the production the inventory got wasted. There will be wastage in the production, right? So to identify this, the auditor has to take the help of the proper expert who is having knowledge with respect to from how much of raw material, how much of output can be provided. So with the help of expert he can identify if management is committing any fraud in this manner. Okay, so all these procedures auditor will perform, not auditor, investigating accountant will perform for identifying the fraud in case of inventory. Okay, next. Next, question number 19. Sukaran Limited, a leading textile manufacturing company, has been facing criticism from its employees regarding various workplace concerns. Some employees have raised issues about delayed salary payments, while others have reported excessive working hours that affect their work life balance. Additionally, a few workers have complained about inadequate safety measures in the factory, leading to frequent minor accidents. Which principle of BRSR deals with this? Basically, here they are speaking about employee welfare. So, in BRSR principles, the aspect of employee welfare will be dealt by principle 3, which is promote well-being of all employees including those in the value chain, and it is having 9 core principles. That is just a direct question, you can just go through these 9 principles, 9 core principles of this you know third principle, core elements of this third principle. Here the task is to identify the principal number. Okay, once you have identified the principles you can write down the elements of that particular principle. Next, question number 20. KB and Associates are appointed as statutory auditors of Iron Company Limited. The central government holds 72% of paid up share capital in this company. The appointment letter of the company gave a very limited time to KB and Associate for accepting the audit. See, the time that has been given for accepting the accepting the audit is very limited. Now, CAS, the engagement partner, communicated with the previous auditor, but due to lack of time, he had to give acceptance for the audit assignment before receiving a reply from the previous auditor. Okay, he sent the communication to the previous auditor, but because of a lack of time, he has started the audit work. Hence, CAS gave conditional acceptance of the appointment. Okay, he has given conditional acceptance subject to the acceptance or subject to the reply from the previous auditor. The current auditor has accepted the work, that is fine, and commenced the audit. Discuss with reference to Chartered Accountants Act 1949 and the schedules thereunder whether CAS has complied with the same. Yes, he has complied. If you see, as per clause 8 Part 1, Schedule 1 of CA Act, a chartered accountant in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he accepts any engagement that has been previously done by another auditor. Okay, without without communicating with the previous auditor, right? Now in this situation there is an exception to the schedule also. If there is a limited time available, then the current auditor he can accept the engagement subject to the reply from the previous auditor. Okay, conditional acceptance can be given here. Since CIS has given conditional acceptance, he is not guilty of professional misconduct. Okay, next, if CIS is guilty of professional misconduct in the above situation, see, they are just asking you to think, if CIS is guilty of professional misconduct under above given situation, then before which authority matter of CIS would have been placed and what would be the punishment that could have been imposed. Now if you see, this matter is related to schedule 1. If a chartered accountant is guilty of professional misconduct under schedule 1, the matter is placed with board of discipline, and if the guilty is proved, the punishment that can be allotted is reprimand the member and impose a penalty up to 1 lakh rupees and remove the name of a member from the register for a period of up to 3 months. This could be the punishment if guilty is proved. Okay, so this is complete RTP for CA final audit May 2025. Hope this will help you to quickly revise the RTP. Okay, I'll be winding up this video as of now. We'll meet in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye bye. See you.